Hello everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another Brossom. It's awesome. It's a broadcast and it's awesome, so it's Brossom broadcast. So welcome to Thursday here in California. It's 1 o'clock my time. It's probably a different time wherever you're at. In fact, that already might be Friday for you, which would be very exciting. So welcome to fmtrain.tv, where every day at 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday, we are creating great FileMaker training to help you, to educate you. Sometimes you educate us. It's a two-way conversation. It's really great. A couple important things. So today is kind of a really unusual day. So some days I'm going to press a little button right here. There. Oh, it almost worked perfectly too. So some days are days where we talk about like senior-y kind of ninja stuff, or intermediate to senior. Tomorrow is going to be an intermediate to senior kind of ninja day. Yesterday was definitely an intermediate to Senior Ninja Day. We talked about the Monkey Bread plugin. And then my team last night invented some other new way to do some other stuff with Monkey Bread. I'm sure Christian Schmidt goes, yeah, with a German accent. Yeah, I know all about that, right? So, but yes, we have another thing to show on his stuff. So it's useful that he's here, but I want to say that today is very much like a beginning, like rookie day. So Moki won't be here. If Moki's here, we're just going to automatically expel him out of the broadcast. He doesn't want to be here. And it's a hard conversation to have, right? It's a hard conversation to have because today is kind of an interesting day. It's something kind of we've never done before. Claris is always looking for feedback, but they're looking for feedback on a specific capability. And so before we get into that, let's just cover, before I launch in today's broadcast, I just want to warn everyone, if you're looking for deep technical improvement because you're an awesome person and you really don't want to give Claris any feedback on some more basic stuff, then you can skip the broadcast. But for those of you interested in giving Claris some feedback, I'm going to show you how to record a video, more or less. I mean, not, but more or less what you want to put in the video, because you could give Claris the feedback in writing form, but that you lose so much in that. By even seeing a video and listening to the person talk, it's a much better thing, much better communication tool. Why we do videos. Most people like videos, fewer people like the book. And these videos are going to go directly to the engineers at Claris. I've got a direct pipeline channel to them, and they want to see this stuff. Now, I've already provided the feedback to them on it. My wife has provided the feedback to them on it. And so they're asking for more feedback. And so let's talk about that a little bit. But before we get there, I'm going to bring up the upcoming broadcast schedule. So the upcoming broadcast schedule, if we zoom in, once again, yesterday was kind of advanced Monkey Bread Day. It's recorded. It'll be posted fairly soon. About a day to 2 days behind, we put the recording up. Tomorrow, Kyle Williams is gonna get naked with the web viewer and doing text editors with web viewer. So kind of rich text editing with the web viewer. I'm sure Christian will go, Monkey Bread plugin does that too. So, maybe it does it. Maybe it does. 6,500 functions. If it doesn't do it, I'd be surprised. It does everything, right? Even a new function in there for getting the winning lottery numbers, right? Get Monkey Bread Lotto, and out back comes the winning lottery number, which is great. So it does everything. But Kyle's going to cover it tomorrow. Monday's a holiday. I don't expect to be broadcasting. So just as a general note on that. Then Tuesday, we start with the new FM Gallery that's free. A new FM Gallery free. For those of you wondering about that, we'll cover that on Tuesday. So Nick Hunter will be back. I haven't done this in a while like this. This broadcast is brought to you by fmtraining.tv. So you go to FM Training at the top. And then what you do is you the live training button here, but you can go to bundles. And you could support this awesome channel. Just make sure you purchase one of the live stream bundles, or not live stream, but these are recorded on-demand video bundles, 90 plus hours of content in them. And that allows us, that is revenue that comes in and helps us to run the live streams, which are free to all of you. During the broadcast, I really want you to ask questions today. That would be really great. Once again, I'm watching Twitch, YouTube, and Discord, so you can post your question there, and I will try to answer it. I don't have anyone helping me here, and Margaret's going to be stressing about what's going on because she's kind of the victim of this. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot right now to the conversation. So on Margaret's screen right here is the Quick Start Experience. Margaret, if you can move my little box that you see here, kind of in the corner, down the bottom left or something like that. Oh, there you go. That's great. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. So this is Claris's Quick Start Experience. So let me have a little bit of a conversation here, right? And if it gets too difficult, I'll bring in Claris to have a conversation. So Basically, FileMaker is basically, without a doubt, the low-code tool to use. So we have the quick start experience. And the quick start experience is basically Claris saying, well, we've got this low-code product that no one thinks about us as low-code. And it has hooks into web viewers and JavaScript and CSS and Excel and ODBC. So it's got these pro code capabilities, API, curl, REST integrations, things like that. And so it's a low-code tool with pro code capabilities, which is really great. But they really don't have a no-code option. And most of us here, I remember the first time I saw this, I went like this. No, I'm not interested in no code. I make my business, my life doing low code or pro code, but not no code or zero code, right? And there's two areas though, and thinking about this more deeply, there's a couple important things I need to, if you listen to me, this is very important. I'm going to try to help you and say some things here without saying too many things. So as Rick Kalman said, I have to dance a fine line of what I'm doing. So the short version is that Claris wants to have a no code offering where people can just drag and drop. That's what's in here right now. We're going to play with this today. I'm going to guide Margaret through a recording process of this. I'm going to be like the voice in her head. Hi, Margaret, this is the voice. This is God calling. How are you, Margaret? Hey, God, is that you? Right, so that kind of thing. And I'm going to guide her through a little bit of making the video. Now, it's being recorded automatically. You will need to record your audio and your video on your screen. And if you do this and send it to me with your feedback and comments, I will direct it and make sure it goes to the right people at Claris so it goes to where it needs to go. If you're like, oh, that's personal, I don't want Richard to see that, then don't do this. I don't know what to tell you. I can't have you encrypt it, then give it to FileMaker. It doesn't work that way. If you want to do some feedback, trust me, my life is so busy, I'm not going to watch your videos, okay? I'm just going to package them up, give them to Claris and say, there you go. But they want to see some feedback as people try to use this quick start experience. And so a couple important things here. I do a little bullet points and outline, but I'm just going to give this to you verbally. One, the quick start experience is important and is useful for two things. One, to bring new people on the platform who are not us, people that are not in this broadcast right now, might be watching a recording, maybe. But it's important to have a good no-code experience so people can come to the platform, can see the benefits of what the FileMaker platform does, what it can do without any coding, which is quite a bit. And then they can get little bits of like low code, right? Like a little bit more code, like go to layout, print this, do a find, do a sort. Those are like single English or whatever language you speak, basic language concepts, basic nouns, basic verbs, do this, go to this basic place and do this. It's not like a bunch of command line stuff that you saw with Linux. It's the opposite of the Linux videos that we shot. So that's one thing. The second thing is that if you are in a business that's kind of dynamic and with projects and things going on, a lot of times you'll have a core FileMaker system that you're using. And then along the way, you'll throw together an ad hoc database for a couple days or a week to solve some problem. That database is a throwaway. You're going to build it, you're going to use it, you're going to literally throw it away. You might save it somewhere, but you really, once you're done with it, you really don't care about it. And it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. And as a professional developer, the fastest way to do that right now for a lot of situations is with this no-code process. It's the part that Moki hated. He was like, I hate this. This sucks. This is horrible. And I get all that. And part of me is that way. So what I want to also say is that, Margaret, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have you start initially, Margaret, say get started up here. Okay, why don't you go ahead and say get started, okay, with the low code. And it's going to ask you for a file name. But there's a very important thing that's going to happen here. And it's going to read all this. Yeah, you don't need that. That's fine. Okay, it says, welcome to the Quick Start Experience or Quick App Authoring. Claris has two different names for this. It's either Quick App Authoring or Quick Start Experience. Don't be confused by that. It's the same thing. This is the fastest, easiest way to build an app. Okay, the fastest way to build a very limited app. Okay, I'm helping us. If you need a fully customize your app, i.e. you need more low-code stuff, click Done, and then you use the FileMaker Pro toolset for the full capabilities of FileMaker Pro. So automatically, this is not offensive because it says, here's the lightweight stuff, here's the no-code stuff, and as soon as you grow beyond its capabilities, you can go into the Pro toolset. I like this. It makes a lot of sense from a marketing site, because one of the things we've got to bring in new people. Once they get into low code, like Megan folded pants. Megan didn't know shit, okay? And I'm not being mean. She's a low code hero, right? And Jake, they hire her in, she comes in, they start teaching her stuff, and she's a reasonably intelligent person. She might be brilliant, but I'm just saying she's reasonably intelligent, and she gets the value of low code. And wham, 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 she's building value for them, but she had to start somewhere. And not everyone has a Jake they can work for, right? Jake is awesome. He'll be here next week, and he's here watching right now. But not everyone has a Jake they can work for. So what do you do when you're in a room by yourself? You start with no code and see how far it gets you. So Claris wants feedback on this. Margaret, go ahead and say okay for me.
Okay.
And is there a dialogue or something, or is it just stuck on the screen here? What the hell? I see a blank white screen.
I also see a blank white screen.
No, this is Margaret. Margaret, you're on 19.3.
Yeah.
9.3, right?
Well, Christian just told us that if I opened up 19.2, that Rosetta would automatically start. So
why don't you work on it, and I'm going to walk people through this a little bit on my side. So I'm not going to, if you want to quit sharing your screen and go through that, or just leave your screen sharing, just go install it. No one can see you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up mine. I am actually on an i7 here. Thank God for small miracles. And I think I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to just start it over here on mine. So we're going to do that. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that out, and I exit, and then if I just come back to FileMaker, it automatically, okay, it's trying to get me to log in. All right, my apps, how about create? Okay, here's the quick start experience. So we all can see this now, wherever we go. Here we go. So I'm going to say, we're going to try this. And I'm going to save the file, call it quick start app authoring. I don't know, they keep changing the name. I've lost track of that. This is what happens. You say, yes, I'm going to do it. So this is the no code environment. Now this is why, 2 reasons why this is important, 3 reasons this is important. 1, it brings new people to platform, and Claris needs feedback. Well, we've already done that today once already. 2, you might want to use this to build something really quickly for yourself in the future. And 3, this is the part you don't know. I'm going to try to be as careful as I can say about this. If you play with this technology, I'm going to move this out of the way. If you play with this technology a little bit, move it up here. This is actually a web browser, but you can't really, I guess you could sense that, but you really can't tell it because it doesn't look very web browsery. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, show me, if I say done. So this is FileMaker. We're in FileMaker Pro, but when I go to layout mode, I get dropped back in this web tool, right? And you're like, interesting, right? And so how do I turn on the, if I click over here and I want to see the right, there's an inspector over here on the right side I should be able to see. I'm not sure how I turn that on. Oh, there, double click it. Okay, now it stays on. So this is a right pane, left pane. And the things on the right look kind of like Pro, and the things on the left kind of look like Pro. And so they need feedback on this. But here's the part, the number third item. Item 1's they need feedback. 2, you could use it yourself. 3, this is the part. This technology, whatever this is kind of, I think, the center of focus. This underlying technology here, if I had to guess, I would say that they're using this to potentially re-engineer the product to some degree, right? Think about it. You got a web interface that kicks out, and it allows people to drag and drop stuff on here, and it's driven by JavaScript and all this other stuff under the hood. And so theoretically, this could be really useful from a strategic sense if they could take this technology and kind of recook Pro. Now, in order to, I told them, like, the first thing out of my mouth before any of you guys panic, guys and gals, it's not developers panic, and I said, listen, if you guys re-engineer this thing, you cannot just randomly abandon features like removing the log viewer out of the server, for example, and then they just went back and put it back in. You just can't randomly remove stuff, or we're not going to upgrade ever, right? And it will be a giant disaster. And so they are, I think, theoretically kind of considering this idea. I don't know how far it's gone, if it's dead, if it's moving forward. I know nothing because there's no conversation with them and me. But this is the quick start experience. And I think for the quick start, this is interesting. And what you want to do is, if Margaret can get her stuff going, I'm going to walk her through kind of the simulation of what that looks like. But you want to kind of come up with an idea of what you want to build and then attempt to build it, right? Now, I popped open a screen here. I said, build me a blank file. And here I am, and there's stuff on the screen already. So what is that, and why is that, and why is that here? That was my first confusion point, right? And so if you notice over here, you have things over here that are not labeled, but you might be able to determine what they are. Then you have things over here that appear to be labeled, but maybe not really labeled. And I could tell you that I got almost all this wrong the first time. And it wasn't so much that I got it wrong as that Claris, in my opinion, necessarily didn't explain to me what it was. So you have the inspector panel on the right, items on the left that hopefully you can figure out or determine what they are. And so we have inspector on the right, and you can click on items and do things, right? So the idea is that here's an item, and you can grab it and move around. You actually have this automatic kind of columning thing up here a little bit, kind of interesting. So there's some neat stuff in here. So I don't want to walk through and tell you how all this works. You need to explore it and make a video exploring it and talk about it out loud. Don't tell them they're stupid. Don't be nasty. If you're confused, be confused and explain to them why they're confused. So we're gonna walk through that in just a second. But are we still there? Margaret,
Me?
Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there.
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
It's been really
evaporated.
quiet. So, but the idea is that here's the deal with this. You say done, and it goes back. So it takes that web interface, it takes all that under the JavaScript or whatever's under the hood, and it puts it into a layout. So this is a conventional layout in FileMaker, right? With browser mode, new records and the whole thing. So it works just like FileMaker. We're in Pro. And then you can say, well, I want to use the Pro tool set. I want to upgrade from no code to low code. Now, I think this is just them playing with this a little bit. I mean, in my mind, there's 100 ways you can do this. For me as a professional developer, this is great, but for a brand new person, use the Pro tool set. Okay, that might make sense. But if I say this, it's going to say, there's this dialogue right here. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can all see it. And I remember reviewing this thing. This dialogue has got too many words in it. Steve Jobs would come out of his grave and start striking people dead if he could. That being said, it makes a lot of sense. When we run this right here and convert this, it's going to fork the file into a quick start version and a pro version. And so if I say convert, it's very simple. And so we are in now FileMaker Pro with the same file, and now it very much looks identical. This is Pro all the way. If I come over to the file over here, the quick start, this one is basic. If I go to layout mode, this is the one that still uses that kind of lightweight editing mode, right? And so what they did is because once you convert a file, it cannot be unwound backwards, at least at the moment, right? So once again, so it said that, and it forks it. So you get a Pro one and a one that you can revert and go back to and just use with quick start, right? Makes sense? So it's really interesting, right? So, Margaret, is yours running yet?
I finished, something weird happened. I finished 19.2 download. They're both like coexisting in some form of peace. But then I opened up like
19.2, and then it did another installation, right?
Well, no, it still had the white screen, but when I hit it, like I tried to I made like the window smaller because I was wondering if that was like there's like a dialogue hidden at the bottom somewhere. Nothing. But then I hit escape and it said discard all changes to the layout, and I was like, sure. And then the white window went away, and I can mess around with it in 19.2. So let's see if I can get that to happen in 19.3.
I'm bringing you back. We're back on screen here with you. So
we got two. Bottom one is 2. Top is 3.
Okay. So try
File.
That.
Create new. Get started. Test. Trez. Pretty sure I'm spelling that incorrectly. Okay. See, there's this still, but like
it didn't do the Rosetta install.
If I hit escape and I hit yes, it poofs.
Okay, so go back, go ahead and quit. Go up here about FileMaker. I just want to make sure this is 19 about FileMaker. This is what, 19? Okay. Go ahead and quit. Go ahead and quit this app. Let's go to the other one. Go ahead and quit this one. Now go to the other one. File about FileMaker Pro. So it didn't do a Rosetta install.
So it might be some other. I have discovered
this is a 19.3 on M1 problem, and so I'm sure they're aware of this. I'm just going to let you audio only, Margaret, and so we're having this conversation.
Well, we have the draw thing, right? Like I can draw on your screen. I can draw and tell you where I want you to click and where my questions show up.
We could do that. Okay, so Polar Tech In goes, I was following along the M1 Mac Mini, first time running 19.3, did not get where you were at all. So it doesn't matter. There's a bug in 19.3 on the M1 where if you try to use the quick start, it's going to freak out and show you a white screen. So you can't do this on the M1 right now on the Mac. But they're bringing this to Windows now that the Windows has the Edge Chromium stuff, because remember, this is a web browser-based technology. Now with that in there, you're going to be able to see this on Windows, so which is great. I'm going to start this all over again. I'm going to abort this. So Margaret, I'm going to let you tell us what to do, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to minimize that at this point. I'm going to come over here to FileMaker. I'm going to say Create New. And I'm going to say try the quick start experience. I'm going to say get started. It's going to say the file. I'm going to say test 2. And so if you're able to, if you don't want to like spoil or taint your test results, then you probably don't want to watch the rest of this live stream, right? If you want to see what we're doing, that's fine. Maybe you can take the conversation further in your video. We're only going to be able to do it so long. So Margaret, here's what I want you to do. We're going to start a new file. I need you to right now tell me verbally. People are not going to go in here unless they have a need. What is the need that we want to do? You need to make something up for me. What do we want to track?
And let's do like one that would apply to me specifically. I like books, book collection. I want to categorize my book collection.
Okay, great. All right, so
I do need you to share your screen though.
Now I'm broadcasting on 4 channels, not just 3. So Margaret, do you see my screen?
Yes, I can, but now I can like draw on it. See?
Okay, great. So this is the first place we got to. All we did was name the file. It should be called books up here. Okay. So what do we want to do? So now we're making this recording, right? What do we want to do, Margaret? You mean you want to track books, so what would you want to do?
I want something that would allow me to like select the genre of the book, probably the publish date of the book. Okay. And also the name of
those
like
little
the book
boxes
itself.
are called fields in most places, but they would be in fields. So how are we going to? So what are we looking at here?
Well, I want to initially change this, right? Because the title is the wrong thing. I wanted to say books. The description is probably okay. This assigned to doesn't make any sense.
All right, so I'm going to write. So you would normally click on this, and I get a box. Now, in the previous version of FileMaker, you get little handles on the corners. Now we have a one handle down there, bottom right, like a little, for those of you who can't see this. So there it is there, like kind of a little weird handle, okay? So that's a little different. So if I double click it, now if I zoom out, I have a field, it says field over here, field label, right? So it's highlighted, so I could change it. What do you want me to change this to, Margaret?
Book title.
All right, book title. Okay, that's great. All right, now what?
Probably, I guess that that probably wouldn't really matter to me as long as I could type something into it.
Okay.
And then book description would need to be changed.
To what?
Summary, book summary.
Okay.
And then I would want to make this smaller so I could add or like either move it down so I could add like book author beneath book title.
All right, so what I'm going to try to do is click on it and make it smaller, like that.
Oh, nifty, yeah.
Okay.
And then could you move it down to the bottom?
No.
Huh, interesting. If you added another field, could we swap it? And where do I add field? Is it like up? No. That be up here? No, that wouldn't be up there.
Well, I don't know. Okay, this is the part that we're giving the feedback for. How do I add a field?
I don't like that is obviously text change. That's picture. I don't know what the I probably shouldn't swear. I don't know what that is.
Scott, you don't get the help. See that's the whole point of this, right? Right? Because it's not labeled, right? See, so it's not labeled, so you have to be telepathic, right?
I guess this would be it because it's got like the other fields right here, but there's no. So this button?
Okay, we can try that. See what that does. Add.
Text.
Okay, so.
Oh, interesting. So I guess I just need text and then book author.
Okay. Add new fields to layout, probably. Now, do you want to create another one, or we want to be done?
I think we'll be done. I don't know why I'd want two of them.
Okay. So the book,
Okay, so now can you swap these two?
I probably, if I drag it like that, it does the swapping.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but then I've got like empty space that I guess I'd have to add another field there for it to make any sense.
Or not.
Can you get rid of these? Because they don't
I
serve
click
any
once
purpose.
on them, hit the delete key. Okay.
Okay.
Click once, hit the delete key. Click once, hit the delete key. Okay. So
Okay,
far, so good.
so then I want a drop-down list so I can select book genre, like, fantasy, sci-fi.
A drop-down list. Okay.
I did see that as an option in like the add field section.
Okay.
So drop-down.
That's interesting. They're making that a field type. All right. It's not a field type. It's a control style, right? But that's fine.
Well, yeah, in an actual FileMaker.
In the low-code world, right? So what are we calling this again?
Book genre. Genre is what I used to call it because I can't pronounce worth a crap. Genre.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Create. Oh, I screwed it up.
Oh, you didn't add it to the set, but I assume you can just drag and drop, right?
How do I? Oh, probably
Like
that. The edit right there, maybe.
No, that edits the field. So can you not like just grab like the thing and then pull
Well,
it?
I can do that, but it's not a control style. It's a text field. That's
Oh.
the problem. So
But I thought we selected it to be.
I didn't select it. I just typed the name and went.
Oh, okay.
So field, display text, text holder.
I don't think you can change it.
Conditional formatting. So this is the kind of stuff, folks. So this is what Claris needs to see. How about a book cover picture, right? So here's the rub, right? And it's a part of it that all of you get to figure out is what are these items and how are they over here and what actually happened when you told to create a new one, right? So I think it just adds a control style to the field. Yeah, it's a control style, but over previously it wasn't. It was a field, type of field.
Well,
Which in the old days, back in FileMaker like nutshell days, it was a field type. So I don't know where you could change it. I don't see text field.
Yeah, okay, so I guess it's just
How about I delete it? Margaret, you can't cuss. I have to.
Sorry.
That all gets quacked out.
Sorry.
So type. How about pop down?
drop. Oh, so this is where you add values. Name,
Book
shop.
Gen, like that.
GE, yeah, yep.
Okay, so value. What's the value should be?
Value should be fantasy.
Fantasy.
And then I guess you hit plus.
Yep.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Okay, what else? Just
And then historical fiction.
All right, so great.
We didn't hit add it to the field. We didn't click it, so it automatically went over here.
So it's this one right here.
Yeah.
You put it up there, I guess. So I guess we have to say save. There's actually a save button, right? And then.
I guess we can select.
Oh, you have to click on the arrow to get that right. So that's consistent. It's a pop-up value list, right? Yeah, so pop-up.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that is working. Now it still says activity, so I guess we could say edit and change that. So I'm not. People are bored out of this, but what's interesting about this is that you're seeing the mind inside the folks at Claris, right? A little bit, and the technology is actually working. I think there's some issues here that are not technology related. I think it's like labeling, right? Like these are fields and it doesn't say anything about fields.
So can I add multiple layouts? Like if I wanted to actually add something like a book timeline where I like categorize the chapters and what happened in each chapter.
Let me ask a question. What is this stuff over here?
You asking me or you asking the group?
I'm asking you. Or you guys can all throw it out there. What is this stuff over here?
My guess is pre-built layouts, though I don't understand how you would attach it to this. Like, is there a button option?
That's a good point. So when we click on activity card, I'll just click once. One click. Oh, it looks like a card style. It is
pre-built.
Yeah. So it's pre-built. And
wait, but if you go to browse mode, how do I get there?
I guess I don't know that you do. So we would need a button. Is there a button? Okay, here's a button.
Oh, that's what that is.
Okay. This reminds me of HyperCard, how basic this is. Reminds me of that. But HyperCard was very advanced too. It had some pretty advanced
Button.
scripting.
Oh, this is familiar at least. Label action do nothing. So
Delete
go to
current
layout.
Go
You've
to
only got
record,
4
go to
options.
layout. I like this because it's no code. You don't have to code it. These are the most common items. This is right. So go to layout. Okay, what layout do we want to go to?
Select target. Wait, are they already all built in here? Like,
yeah. So welcome to the world of
like if I wanted to add another activity card, could I? Is that what this button is?
All right, well, you're confusing me, but yeah, we could try that button. What does that button do?
Sorry, I don't mean to be confusing.
Okay.
And then, so we've got assets, contacts, products, staff. What happens if I make a new table?
David, okay, so, yeah, I know more about this because I beat my head on this and I have the answers to this stuff, but I'm trying to be sufficiently vaporous. This is the area that actually we need. Actually, I'm just going to probably stop right here. Instead of me figuring this out and explain to you, I would, if I were all of you, I would say, pop this open, but come up with something you want to do. Don't say a CRM or something because you can't build a CRM with no code. I think that's a bridge too far. You could build a book thing and you could probably attach it to like maybe a book events or something like that. But you need to wrestle with, I think, this stuff over here, wrestle with this stuff over here, although number 3 made perfect sense. Some of this other stuff, not as much sense. So, but you need to record it. Record it. If you want to do it. If you don't want to do the homework assignment, that's fine. And if you give it to me over, say, the next, 30 days, I will drop it in Claris's hands. Okay, 30 days, or if not sooner. I will drop it in their hands. They can review it. Okay, be nice, but don't... But tell them what you think and try to understand what these are and how they got here and what they're doing here and all that kind of stuff, right? And then why is it this list and where are the other items and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's a lot here. But I think under the hood, I think this is a very interesting exercise for Claris. I think they're figuring out that the FileMaker Pro app was so amazing and so ahead of its time that it solved a lot of these issues for them. And now the people who build that original app are all 70 or 80 years old originally. And so now the new people down there who are 20 or 30 years old are trying to reinvent stuff that was already invented. And they're trying to understand what was special about it, right? Like if you go to work at Apple and all the Steve Jobs era people are gone and you're coming to the Macintosh and trying to reimagine why the Mac is what it is and how not to break it. You don't want to break it, right? You want your customers to continue on to be happy. How do you do that? And what is the fundamental understanding? What is the meaning of the world, right? What is the meaning of FileMaker, right? That's what they're trying to understand. That's why this is important, right? Because they're trying to get this no-code thing correct. That makes sense? So, yeah. So, yeah, the tech is cool. I think the tech is the future. I think the user experience, that's why they need your movie, the videos from you folks to make the movie. So feel free, in whatever language you're in, if you're Filippo from Italy and you want to do it in Italian, do it in Italian, okay? They can translate it. They're big boys and girls. This is Apple, right? Jeffrey Smith, I tried the Quick Start. Yep, got that. The only reason we understand this at all because we're FileMaker developers to start with. Try this with someone who's never been seen FileMaker and you'll see their hair on fire. I think that's true, but I think that then say that in the video, Larry. You need to go into a video and walk through this and say this. Be nice about it, but walk through it and say it, okay? It's not good enough that I'm the only one who tells Claris this stuff. You folks there have got to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. They will watch it. They will pay attention to it because it's not going to go through a bureaucracy. It's going to go right to the people who want and need this. Trust me on that. Trust me, your time will not be wasted. So I'm going to call it good for now. I don't want to overbeat this horse to death. There's not much more I can say about it. Clearly, if you're on the M1 and it works, that's great. But that's a brand new M1 with, and I'll run all the updates, and it's cartwheeled and crashed into the ground. So the fact that it doesn't QA test to see if Rosetta's installed. Although, Margaret, you'd run FileMaker 19.2 on that before, right?
Yes, I mean, I literally just updated it today.
And FileMaker 19.2 requires Rosetta. That's not a Rosetta problem, Christian Schmidt. That's not a. She already has Rosetta. That's a different problem. So I don't even know what it is.
What the issue could be.
Yeah.
And we're not the only people who got it. So there's people who don't have that issue, but poor Jeffrey has also experienced a similar problem.
Oh, Jeffrey has? Okay.
Yeah, he said, I just tried the quick start and got the white screen, which is what
the white
we were
screen
having.
of death. That's what we'll call it, the white screen of death. All right. Step 1, die a horrible death. White screen of death. All right, everyone. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Margaret will be here for sure. I may or may not be here. Yes? I suppose it's goodbye then. Yes, it is goodbye. I have nothing else to add, but I don't want to spoil what you're going to do. The more I talk about it, the more I'm tainting your thing, your video. So off you go.
Guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Try to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.